This is Yankees baseball on My 9.
On a swelteringly hot Monday evening, it's 97 degrees here in Kansas City. Fans filing in to Kauffman Stadium because it is time for baseball as My 9 presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Kansas City Royals in a one-game set from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. This game was actually rained out in June. This is a makeup before the Yankees head to Detroit, but the Yankees come in hot. They won 4 in a row, and yesterday's game, one of their biggest games of the season.
Yeah, they got some big hits in yesterday's ball game. Ichiro Suzuki had 2 hits in the game. He had 7 on the homestand, but none bigger than this one. This is going to drive in 2 runs in the 6th inning to give the Yankees a lead at 4-3, but the game went to 10 innings. It was tied at 4. Brian McCann off the bench, pinch hitting, and he delivers. A walk-off 3-run homer. The Yankees win 7-4 as the Yankees celebrated home plate as McCann comes over the big hit. It's time to party in the Bronx.
Yeah, partying because they've won 4 in a row after losing the first 2 games of the homestand against the Astros. Once they started winning, they scored more runs. Now, the average was a little lower, but the average with runners in scoring position really jumped up, and the Yankees pitched a lot better in the games that they won. Speaking of pitching, tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Michael Pineda will get the start for the Yankees and for the Royals. It's big game, James Shields.
James Shields, the Yankees are well aware of what he can do. Remember all those years he was with the Tampa Bay Rays, now pitching for the Kansas City Royals, and pitching well, we must say. This is what he's done in August, 3-0. In fact, in his career in August, he has won 28 games in a month. Only one active pitcher has won more in the month of August. That's CC Sabathia, who's won 29. Big game James, living up to his name in the month of August.
Facing Shields will be Michael Pineda's third start coming up the 60-day DL. When we come back, Meredith Morakovitz will have more on the Yankee right-hander. That's next, coming up on My 9.
Plenty of people filing into the stadium. The Yankees and Royals matchup will get underway in just a couple minutes. Hey, everyone, I'm Meredith Morakovitz. Michael Pineda has been very good since coming off the DL on August 13th. He hasn't factored into a win yet. However, he has allowed just 6 hits and 3 runs in those 2 starts combined. The Yankees have been impressed thus far, and Joe Girardi weighed in on what he's liked from Pineda.
He's kept his stuff throughout for the most part. His fastball and slider and changeup have all been pretty good. To me, it's kind of where he left off, which is not easy because he sat out a long time. The thing that we didn't have is maybe the stamina that we had early, but we're pretty close to that now.
Lineup looks a little bit different tonight. No Brett Gardner, no Mark Teixeira. Michael Kay will have more on that, as well as lineups first pitch baseball with Ken Singleton coming up next on My 9.
Buy, get special end of summer deals on Hyundai's Labor Day week sales drive. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Nice crowd here at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals have taken the field. The Fountains, boy, they're appreciated today with this searing heat. And we'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is brought to you by Hyundai. Get special end of summer deals on Hyundai's Labor Day week sales drive. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Jacoby Ellsbury in center, he'll lead off. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, will bat second. Batting third and catching, the hero from yesterday, Brian McCann. Carlos Beltran will DH, he'll clean up. The number 5 hitter, second baseman Stephen Drew. In left field is Martin Prado, batting 6th. Batting 7th, playing first base, Chase Headley. In right field, it's Ichiro Suzuki, batting 8th. And the number 9 hitter is the third baseman, Zealous Wheeler.
On the mound for the Kansas City Royals, veteran right-hander, 32-year-old James Shields. In his career against the Yankees, he has 9 victories, but he also has 15 losses. That's what he's done this season, 12-6, 3.28, more than a hit per inning. Good control, not many walks, strikeouts, opponents batting .265. Let's take a look at the Kansas City Royals pitcher scouting report, brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. He is an innings eater. James Shields is coming up on his 8th straight 200-inning season. He's durable. He's never been on the disabled list in the major leagues, and he's got an excellent pickoff move. Since 2006, he has picked off 27 runners at first base. That is tops for a right-handed pitcher.
Why don't we check out the Royals defense? And it's pretty good defense. 3-time Gold Glove winner Alex Gordon in left, and you've got Dyson and Kane in center and right. Infield, Mustakas, Escobar, Infante, and Butler. Escobar's been great at shortstop this year. Salvador Perez, another Gold Glove winner. He's behind the plate. And James Shields is on the mound. This will be his 30th start against the Yankees. So Yankees know him very well from his time with the Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees have won 4 in a row. They're 67 and 61. The Royals are in first place. They're 72 and 57. Jacoby Ellsbury digs in. James Shields is ready. And let's do it here in KC. First pitch is lined into center field. It's a base hit. One pitch and a single for Ellsbury to start it off.
Ellsbury not wasting any time. Had a very good homestand and getting it together on the road.
Stop number 2, Derek Jeter.
Well, there's going to be Derek's final time here in Kansas City unless these two teams meet in the postseason. Derek did not have a great homestand, just 4 hits and 22 at-bats. And there's a strike from Shields.
Kansas City, one of the teams that Derek has done very well against in his career, a .325 hitter against Kansas City Royal pitching over the years. But I think you have to remember, most of those Kansas City teams were certainly not as good as this one.
That's in 133 games against the Royals. .2 on Jeter.
Good changeup. That's one of Shields' signature pitches. He's got a decent fastball, low 90s, but when we drop a changeup in there like this one, really gets the hitters out on the front edge. Good matchup here with Ellsbury at first, among the league leaders in stolen bases, and of course James Shields with a good pickoff move.
That's chopped to short. There's one. And there's 2. Boy, it was a very odd choice by Escobar to take it himself, and then he got taken out hard and clean by Jacoby Ellsbury, but the double play still completed.
It looked to me as though his best opportunity to get the double play would have been to flip to Infante, but he decides to take it himself. And you know what? That was close at second base. Ellsbury might have gotten in there, and you could see that the looks like something you would see on Sunday afternoon in the winter, as the throw to first in time to complete the double play. But that was a close play at second.
Here's Brian McCann, probably his signature moment as a Yankee yesterday, a pinch hit, 3-run home run in the bottom of the 10th inning, give the Yankees a sweep of the White Sox, a 7-4 victory, and send them out on this big 7-game road trip with a 4-game winning streak. McCann did not start yesterday against the lefty Chris Sale, but off the bench, he hits the big home run. And boy, he did not try to hide his emotions, screaming as he went around the bases, pumping his fist, got 2 Gatorade dunks, and his teammates really celebrated with him at home plate. 2-1.
Yeah, McCann is, as we look at yesterday's winning hit, pinch hitting in the bottom of the 10th inning, just inside the pole, a 3-run homer, and the Yankees won 7-4. He's got the Yankee Stadium stroke, Michael. 13 of his 15 home runs at Yankee Stadium. And he has to continue that sort of hitting out on the road.
Count 3-1 to McCann. Home plate umpire is Lance Barrett. The crew chief Dana DeMuth is at first. Ron Culpa at second. Ed Hickox is over third. The 3-1. Now 3-2.
This game actually begins a long homestand for the Kansas City Royals. You got Minnesota, Cleveland, and Texas to follow the Yankees.
And McCann works a walk with 2 outs in the first. Tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, now through September 2nd. See your Lexus dealer.
I would think that this umpiring crew would just stay here and work the Minnesota series. They're not going to come in just for one game.
Here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran got a big hit in the 10th inning. There were 2 outs, and Beltran kept the inning alive with a double to left center. Then Chase Headley was intentionally walked with Cervelli on deck. And with the righty Petrichka on the mound, Joe Girardi sent up McCann to pinch hit for Cervelli, and hits the 3-run home run. But without the double with 2 outs by Beltran, we might still be there.
Now, this is where it all started for Beltran in 1999, Rookie of the Year in the American League, playing for these Kansas City Royals. Had a tremendous year right out of the box.
We spent 7 years with the Royals, 287, and 123 ribbies. Also was a stolen base threat then. 123 home runs, I'm sorry.
22 of those home runs came his first season. And he also drove in 100 runs, over 100 runs that year. And he was a special center fielder, good defender, tremendous base stealer, a good all-around player back in the day with these Royals.
But back then, they couldn't keep Damon, they couldn't keep Beltran, they couldn't keep Dye.
Yeah.
Look at that outfield, but they just could not afford to keep them. So McCann is going to go from first with a 3-2 count and 2 outs. Shift is on for Beltran, 3 infielders on the right side. Swing and a miss on the changeup. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 man left. The Yankees nothing, and the Kansas City Royals coming to bat. Driving machine in center field, it's Jared Dyson. He leads off, batting second and playing second, Omar Infante. Alex Gordon's in left field, he'll bat third. Cleaning up first baseman Billy Butler. Salvador Perez will catch, he'll bat fifth. Batting sixth and DHing, the veteran, Raul Ibanez. In right field, it's Lorenzo Cain batting seventh. The number 8 hitter, third baseman Mike Mustakas. And the shortstop, Alcides Escobar, is going to bat ninth.
Michael Pineda 1-1 in his career against the Kansas City Royals. He gets to start tonight for the Yankees as they begin this road trip. And that's what he's done on the season. This will be start number 7 on the year. And you can see the opponent's batting average, 209. Let's take a look at the Yankees pitcher scout report, brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealers. He's been throwing strikes since coming off the disabled list. He's thrown 11 innings. He's walked just 1 batter. And this kind of the way he was pitching before he got hurt. He's pitched 30 2/3 innings this year. He's walked only 4. And he's been tough to hit this year. His last 14 starts, 6 or fewer hits in every one of those starts. But there's been a distinct lack of run support for Michael Pineda. His last 10 starts, the Yankees have scored just 12 runs.
So Dyson will start it off against Pineda. .28 stolen bases for Dyson, so of course you want to keep him off the bases. Yankees will come in at the corners. Pitch outside from Pineda.
You were talking about the stolen bases for Dyson. He's coming up on his third consecutive 30 steal season. And the last player to do that for the Kansas City Royals was Carlos Beltran.
There's a strike. Royals just came off a long road trip. They were 6-3. When they went on the road trip, they were a half game back of Detroit. They come home and they're 2 games up over Detroit in the American League Central. 1-1. Royals have not made the playoffs since 1985. So trying to break that long string.
I think they do have the Major League's longest drought.
The 1-2. They were 3-1 against Minnesota. They were 1-1 against Colorado, and they had a chance to sweep the Rangers yesterday, but they lost the final game 3-1, so they took 2 out of 3 in Arlington. And when you look at the Kansas City Royals, they might have the best chance of any of the teams competing for a playoff spot because they have 33 games left, and they have 17 of those games against teams that are presently under 500. That one's chopped over the middle. Jeter fields, fires, not in time. Dyson beat it out.
Dyson making good use of the speed. Once this ball was chopped high in the air over the mound, you knew it was going to be a tough play at first, or a tight play at first. You can see Dyson just get that left foot down ahead of the throw from the captain. Unloads, it's accurate, but not in time as Dyson just beats the play. And now, of course, the threat of a steal comes into play.
Here's Omar Infante. Royals signed him to a free agent deal during the offseason. Veteran presence in the infield really has helped out Escobar. Pineda throws over to first.
I'll tell you what, Dyson does not skimp on the lead. He's got to should take another step or two. No, he's about as far out as he's going to go. Pineda stepped off and he was going. You saw him lean towards second.
Let's take a look at these stolen base league leaders brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. Go online at mybobs.com. Jose Altuve leads the league in hits and in stolen bases with 47, and Ellsbury 35, Davis 31, Dyson 28, and his teammate Escobar with 24.
Yeah, the Royals do lead the league in stolen bases. They are not afraid to take off. They have 3 players in the lineup with 20 or more tonight, including Dyson, who's on first base right now.
There's a fastball strike.
And Michael, while you were reading off the Royals lineup, there's not one guy who really jumps out of offensively at you. Nobody really having big years, but their offense is spread throughout the lineup. They have 6 players with 20 or more doubles and 9 players with 40 or more runs batted in on the team.
Oh, they got him. He was leaning in a snap throw by Pineda, and they picked him off. 1 away.
Well, he had threatened to go once before. You can see him trying to scramble back. There is the tag in plenty of time as Headley will get it down on the right hand. Pineda holding the ball just long enough. The tag is made, and there's 1 out.
The 0-1. Fly ball, left field. And right there is Prado to make the play for the second out. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Here's Alex Gordon when he steps in the batter's box, and 5 innings are complete. This will be his 1,000th game played with the Kansas City Royals. Was supposed to be the next George Brett. Never really worked out at third. Has become a great left fielder. As I mentioned, 3 straight Gold Gloves out there for Gordon.
I think he's the reason why Brett Gardner hasn't got one.
The 0-1.
I think in terms of range factors, they say he did not swing. Gardner actually grades out higher than Gordon. And of course, Brett Gardner has a good arm, but Gordon, since he's moved to the outfield, has more assists than any other outfielder in the American League.
Strike 3. Gordon down looking. 94-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner. No runs to hit and nobody left on base. Let's go to the second. 0-0. Time Warner Cable, TV, internet, and phone from Time Warner Cable. 1-855-WANT-TWC. So Shields against Pineda. Now it's a very, very hot night here in Kansas City. And you'll see the Yankee third base coach, Rob Thompson, still wearing long sleeves underneath his Yankee Road uniform. And the reason he does that, no matter how hot it is, he needs to have contrast between his hands and his arms so that when he gives a sign, the hitter can differentiate. If he's touching a part of his body, if the hands and the arms are the same color, he will not be able to differentiate. So that's why he suffers through the heat. Stephen Drew takes high. So I asked him today, I said, well, why don't you just wear dark gloves? He goes, you know what? I never thought of that.
Actually literally ran into Rob Thompson this morning. going downstairs to work out, and he had coffee in his hand, almost knocked it out of his hand.
Count 2-0 to Drew. Drew batting in the number 5 spot in the Yankee order. Now the Yankees do not have Gardner in the lineup. His ankle still barking after the foul ball on Saturday. He's hoping to be in there tomorrow. If not, then definitely Wednesday. Mark Teixeira's not in the lineup. He has terrible lifetime numbers against Shields, but Teixeira told Girardi that he felt something in his hamstring on Friday, played through it Saturday and Sunday, and they decided to give him a day off today. Hot shot to first. Butler fields and flips the Shields. 1 away. 6 for 48 against Teixeira. So, as Joe Girardi said, if you're going to rest him, this would be the day to rest him, so it makes sense.
Years ago, I had a teammate, Lee May, and he didn't hit Louis Tiant particularly well. So every time we go to Boston, we'd walk out on the field the first day. He'd say, Louis, what day you're pitching? Louis said, I'm pitching on Sunday. Lee May said, I'm going to have a heck of a Saturday night. He knew he was not going to play.
Here's more Team Prado. Prado's playing left field tonight, and he's played all over the diamond for the Yankees. The Diamondbacks thought that he was best when he had one position, and that position was third base. They felt that when they moved him around, he did not perform as well. But Joe Girardi said when he got here, we told him our plans, and he said he was great with it. He was okay with playing anywhere. There's a ground ball at third. Mustakas gets Prado. Well, watching him play, Kenny, I think he's most comfortable at second.
Most comfortable at second, but he had a good homestand. And, of course, he gives Joe Girardi so many options. He can play him at several positions. He gives somebody a rest if he has to, or if somebody's injured, Prado can fill in. But we've seen him at second. We've seen him at third. We've seen him in right field. Now we've seen him in left field tonight.
Here's Chase Headley, who's played first and third for the Yanks. He's at first base tonight. Shields deals a strike. As good as James Shields has been, Kenny gave you this number, 9 and 15, 4.20 against the Yankees.
You know, over the years, the Yankees had several players who've hit him pretty well. And I think that particularly at Tampa Bay, they were going long ball on him, hitting home runs. Here's his record, 4.20 ERA, certainly well above his lifetime earned run average. But as we said in our open, this is his month. He's 3-0 this month. He's won 28 games in his career in August. His best month. Of all current pitchers, only CC Sabathia has won more in August.
2-2 on Headley. Second inning, no score.
And to me, watching Shields work over the years, he'd be fun to play behind because he works fairly fast, throws strikes, and keeps you in just about every single game.
Swing and a miss. Another change, getting Headley way out in front. Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the second. Tigers, crucial for both teams, with a chance to make up some ground in the wild card chase. Yes has pregame coverage at 6:30 before the game, which will be on My 9. Then Wednesday night, Yes has full game coverage starting at 6. And Thursday afternoon, catch the series finale beginning at 12:30. Game time will be right around 1:07. Pineda threw 11 pitches in the first inning, 9 of them for strikes.
Does that include the one he threw to first base to pick off Dyson?
It should. Here's Billy Butler. Royals are missing one of their better players, Eric Hosmer, and Billy Butler has moved in seamlessly and played very well at first base. Hosmer's still a while away, as see the Time Warner Cable scoreboard. Got hit by a pitch by John Lester. Tried to play through it. They found a small crack in his hand, and he's working his way back.
I think today was the day he got cleared to swing a bat. You know, and I usually listen to Meredith all season long. That means tee and toss, I think.
And the Royals also did something that they usually don't do. They added salary when they picked up Josh Willingham from the Twins. There's a base hit up the middle off the bat of Billy Butler.
Yeah, Butler's a career .296 hitter, and he's been swinging the bat particularly well since taking over at first base. He's got 9 home runs on the year. 7 of them have come since the month of July. Big smile on his face over at first base. Goes by the nickname Country Breakfast.
Royals are 17-5 in August. But they point to their turnaround, Kenny, to July 22nd.
Yeah.
At a team meeting on that day called by the veteran Raul Ibanez. Ibanez was let go by the Angels after 2.5 months. He just wasn't hitting. They loved him. Wasn't hitting. And the Royals picked him up. So he was here for a couple of weeks. Bases up the middle. It's a line drive and caught there by Drew. So Perez lines one up the middle. Drew positioned perfectly for the first out.
Yeah, watch the reaction of Pineda on the mound. Thought he had a chance at it, but Drew almost right through the middle. Going to haul this one in. Wow, right over the head, into the glove. Not a chance to get the double play.
Anyway, Ibanez, who's up at the plate right now, called the team together in a trainer's room. So they were really tight, packed together. And he said, you know, the only guys that don't believe that you guys are great players are you guys. He said, I've been on other teams. They dreaded playing you because of the talent you have. You guys don't realize it. You guys don't realize how good you can be and how good you are. And something clicked. And since that point, Kenny, 24-7,
yeah.
They've taken the lead in the AL Central.
Yeah, they were under 500 at that point when he called that meeting. And he had that meeting in the trainer's room for a purpose. He didn't want it in the clubhouse, expansive clubhouse. He wanted everybody in tight together so nobody would miss out on the message. And it kind of tells you that, to me, Ibanez's got a future in this game, either in somebody's front office or certainly on somebody's coaching staff and maybe a manager one day.
Now his numbers are not good this year, 175 and 5 homers and 26 ribbies. But since the All-Star break, 10 for 33, 3 doubles, a triple, a home run, and obviously gives them great leadership. He's been there, done that. He had that big pinch hit home run for the Yankees in the playoffs when he pinch hit for Alex Rodriguez and then won the game in extra innings with another home run. Very well respected around baseball. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ibanez down on strikes.
Second strikeout for Michael Pineda. Let's see how he gets it. Looked like a little tight slider, maybe something off speed. Ibanez out in front and strikes out. I think in the pregame interview, Joe Girardi hit it right on the head. Pineda, first couple of starts, he seems to hit the wall after a while. And you would expect that. He has been pitching under this type of pressure for a while. Ooh.
Kane swings and misses. Oh, 2.
The Royals have somewhat of a rotation of outfielders. Of course, Alex Gordon plays just about every single day. Gerard Dyson and Lorenzo Cain in there tonight, but they also have Nori Aoki. And there he is right there. He's getting the day off. And maybe because he had a 3 for 27 road trip, that might do it. I was going to say about Aoki, he's become the new Ichiro. Since 2012, he's got 93 infield hits. And that's the most in the major leagues. That used to be the signature for Ichiro, the infield hit. And somewhat, in some cases, still is for Ichiro. So Ned Yost, the manager, rotates his outfielders.
High fly ball, center field. Ellsbury is there, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, one man left. Let's go to the third. 0-0 on my 9. Truth in engineering. Go back to 2011, and the Yankees became the first team ever to hit 3 grand slams in a game. Cano did it, Martin did it, Granderson did it. They did it in a 22-9 win against Oakland. A Yankee fan and a Royals fan. Someone's going home happy.
Somebody's not listening to Mom. Early independence.
Ichiro Suzuki will lead off against Shields. Pitch outside.
Of course, when you've been around as long as Ichiro, you're bound to come up on some milestones. And Ichiro, he's about to tie Hank Aaron.
Knocked down by Shields. Scrambles after it. Throws the ball past Butler. Going to second is Ichiro. And he will make it.
Now, depending on how they score this, he'll be a little bit closer to Hank Aaron. Of course, when you think Hank Aaron, you think power. But if this goes as an infield single, and it might because of the degree of difficulty, Ichiro will be one single behind Hank Aaron on the all-time singles list. And it's going to go as a single and an error. So he is one base hit behind Hank Aaron. 2,294 for the Hammer, 2,293 for Ichiro.
So he's at second. Here's Zealous Wheeler, the number 9 batter in the lineup. 0-1.
Looks like Wheeler was trying to hit the ball to the right side. Now he's looking at Robbie Thompson. Does Joe Girardi go for the bunt here to get Ichiro to third with 1 out? We'll see. That almost got through the legs of the catcher Salvador Perez. He's Michael told you, a Gold Glove catcher. Royals have several good defenders on their ball club, including Perez. You got Gordon in left. A lot of people feel that Escobar, the shortstop, should get a Gold Glove this year. Hosmer's won one, although he's currently on the disabled list. Outfielders have great zone ratings. They cover a lot of ground. Lorenzo Cain in right. A lot of people feel he should get a Gold Glove too. They've got several good defenders.
Three and 1. Shields wanted that one.
Take a look at that last pitch. A little low.
And Wheeler walks. Yankees runners on first and second. Nobody out. Top of the lineup coming up. Little meeting on the mound. Ellsbury, first pitch of the game, lined it into center field for a hit.
Royals on the corners expecting the bunt from Ellsbury.
No bunt. Line foul.
Well, he got a solid single his first time up. He's been swinging the bat well lately. Joe Girardi obviously taking that account and giving Ellsbury the green light. Seen Shields with 2 strikeouts tonight, both of them on changeups. Struck out Beltran to end the first, Headley to end the second. And there was the changeup. First two pitches were hard inside Ellsbury, and he pulled them both foul. So from a pitching standpoint, you sped up his bat. Now you go to something off speed. You get him to swing through it and be out in front.
Grounded to first. Butler goes to second, one. That's all they'll get. And the Yankees have runners on the corners. One out, and Jeter coming to the plate.
The shortstop.
Look at Butler
Number 2,
spin and
Derek
fire.
Jeter.
Now he's done a good job. Hosmer taking over for a Gold Glover at first, and Hosmer. But remember when Butler first came up, they wanted him to be a first baseman, so he's had some time over there. But over the years, he has settled in primarily as a designated hitter.
Now Jeter has hit into a lot of double play, especially of late. And you wonder why they're not starting runners when Derek's up. So Ellsbury has good speed at first. It would be a good idea to start a runner here. They didn't do it in the first inning. It was a 6-6-3 double play.
Derek hit into his 15th double play the first time up. And that does lead the Yankees in that category.
Although Prado had 17 with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Maybe Kirk Gibson should have started a few more runners.
Kenny told you Shields not that easy to run against.
Yeah. I had a tribute for Derek before the game, and several of the Royals players were featured on the video board here, including James Shields, who has faced Derek quite often. I think Derek's had close to, or maybe more than 100 at bats against Shields over the years.
Runner goes. There's a ground ball to short. By the runner going, they stayed out of a double play, and they get a run as Ichiro scores. 1-0 Yankees.
That was a tailor-made double play ball, but it wasn't because Ellsbury took off, was on the move. You can see the second baseman covering. This ball is hit to the shortstop. Ellsbury's safe. Only one play for Escobar. He takes the play at first, and the Yankees have a lead. So give the captain a run batted in.
Here's McCann. 1-0. One and one. Third inning, Baltimore leads Tampa Bay 3-1. Third inning, Boston and Toronto 0-0. Boston did not help the Yankees over the weekend, getting swept by Seattle. There's a ground ball to first. Butler will take it himself, and that will do it. But the Yankees get a run on one hit, one error, one man left. We go to the bottom of the third, 1-0. third. Yankees lead 1-0. We'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard, which is brought to you by the Dodge Summer Clearance Event going on now. So the Yankees lead 1-0 on the ground ball by Jeter. He picks up an RBI. Michael Pineda's allowed 2 hits, no runs over the first 2. And it'll be Mustakas, Escobar, and Dyson. 8-9-1 in the Royals order against the Yankee right-hander. Mustakas is one of their prize young players. You're a little surprised at that 207 average.
Got off to a very, very slow start. In fact, was sent to the minor leagues for a while. Good defender at third base, so they're not missing anything defensively. He just hasn't hit the way they would like him to.
There's a strike. Yankees right now battling for the second wild card, but they've also moved themselves within striking distance of the O's. Tigers 1 game back of the Mariners, and the Yankees 3.5 back. That one is drilled deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Home run for Mustakas. Game tied at 1.
Well, that's the way they would like Mustakas to swing the bat. It's his 15th home run of the year. It ties him with 2 others, Alex Gordon and Salvador Perez, for the team lead. It's a pitch up in the zone, and he tomahawks it. You see Ichiro going back. This one didn't quite make the fountains, but it went far enough. Royals, by the way, are last in the league in home runs. Power is not their thing.
And there's a strike to Alcides Escobar.
Although lately they've been picking up the pace with the home run bats.
Lined right at Headley. One away. Left to mark the Mustakas home run.
Looks like a mini green monster at Fenway Park.
Here's Dyson, and there's a strike. Dyson infield single, chopped it up the middle. Jeter fielded, fired to first. Dyson beat it out, but was picked off by Pineda. Shows bunt, takes low, 1-1.
Yeah, that had Wheeler on the run. You can see him coming to your picture there. Already in on the grass. Of course, speed is the major part of Dyson's game, and you can see the fake bunt. Wheeler on the move. Wheels in motion. Good slider in on the hands, and Dyson just got a piece of it. Like he got himself on the left foot, the back foot, yeah. The bat came around and got a piece of Brian McCann. When you're coming off a concussion, you don't need that.
Two and two.
Michael, you were talking about the outfield that the Royals had with Carlos Beltran, Johnny Damon, and Jermaine Dye, that all of them had to leave. This outfield they have now, very, very solid defensive outfield.
Grounded to Wheeler. In the second out.
And you might have to go back to the late 70s when they had Amos Otis, Willie Wilson, and Al Cowens in the outfield. That was a pretty good defensive outfield, too. And they were all good offensive players. That 1977 Royals team won 102 games. But they lost in the playoffs.
Well, these two teams were bitter rivals back then.
Yeah, 5 games they lost to the Yankees.
Yankees knocked them out in 76, 77, 78. 0-2.
In those days, there were only 2 divisions, the East and the West. And the Royals were dominating the Western Division. Angels had a pretty good team, but they couldn't stay with the Royals.
Fly ball right field. Ichiro right there and makes the play for the final out. But Mustakas with a home run ties the game at 1 as we head to the 4th.
Become a Yankees universe.
Toyota, let's go places. Which 3 players won the AL Rookie of the Year award with the Royals and also played at least 1 season with the Yankees? I know 1 for sure. Now I know 2 for sure. Carlos Beltran will lead it off here in the 4th. Struck out in the 1st inning. And a strike. 1-1 game. A 1-game series. This game was rained out on June 9th. Slow roller. Grabbed by Shields, and he makes the play. Gets by Shields, he has a chance, but a nice play, got off the mound quickly, one down.
Yeah, Shields showed you his ability to make the play. Now he's walking back all the way from almost to the outfield grass. So watch how far he has to go to make this play. First of all, I don't think Infante would have gotten him. There's the play, and Shields going to keep on motoring like he's headed out to the bullpen to warm up again. Good athlete.
Now, the Royals got Shields from Tampa Bay on December 9th of 2012. And they knew that for all intents and purposes, they got him for 2 years. That was it. He's a free agent at the end of this season. They're not going to be able to keep him. And they traded Will Myers, who ended up becoming the Rookie of the Year. And what they did was they made a calculated judgment. We'll give up some of our future to make the playoffs. We've got to make the playoffs to send a message to our fans and also to the young players on this team. So this final month plus, Kenny, is going to decide whether or not getting James Shields was the right move. Because if they never made the playoffs in the 2 years, then you gave up Will Myers, another good pitcher, and Jake Odorizzi, Mike Montgomery, and Patrick Leonard. Wade Davis has been good for them out of the bullpen, and Shields has been just what they thought in the rotation. But they've got to make the postseason to make that deal look good. Or re-sign him, which I don't think they will.
Yeah, Shields, 32 years old. He is still in his prime. There's Ned Yost, the manager. Dayton Moore is the general manager who made that deal.
There's Dayton.
But I think one thing they knew they were getting in Shields, they were getting a pitcher who's very durable. There's the record. Now remember, before they went 24-7 here, they were 2 games under 500.
And remember, they finished last year very well as well, and that gave them some hope. Last year they finished 86-76, and that's the first winning season the organization had in 10 years. First 27 games this year, 9-18. The last 31, 24-7. So you see the difference. More home runs, better pitching. Last year in the second half, Kenny, they were 43-27 after the All-Star break, but they fell short. The playoff push. That one is drilled deep to right field. That ball is gone. See ya. A home run for Drew, and the Yankees take a 2-1 lead.
Well, Michael, you were talking about Drew being up as high as 5th in the order, and he's going to tomahawk a high fastball here and drill it almost down the line and into the seats as the Yankees take the lead. Drew is now 7 for 12 against James Shields, and I think those numbers what got him moved up in the batting order.
Here's Martin Prado. And a strike from Shields. Home run traveled 346 feet. His 6th home run of the year. Driven to left field, but foul. This is a big park. That's 330 down each line, so you've got to really hit it. 387 in the gap, 410 to center.
And if I remember correctly, it used to be bigger. They actually moved in the outfield fences a bit. You're right about the Shields deal, and this kind of has to be the year for them because you know he's going to get some decent offers.
Line drive, base hit down the left field line, and that's going to go into the corner, played out there by Gordon, and Prado picks up a double.
Good job of hitting by Prado. As we have found out, he is a line-to-line hitter, but he's also very quick inside. You can see that he was out in front, but he kept his bat back and his weight back just enough They get the good wood on it and drill it into the corner in left field where Alex Gordon going to have to run it down.
That's going to bring up Chase Headley. Headley struck out in the second. Prado leads off second. One man out. Foul back to the screen. Fly ball left field. Gordon toward the line will make the play. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Here's Ichiro. Single off the glove of Shields in the third. Ichiro loves hitting in this ballpark. Coming into today, a .368 career batting average. And that's the third highest for any active player at any ballpark. Adrian Beltre, 397 at Coors. Albert Pujols, 376 at PNC. High fly ball, deep center, going back Dyson, and he's there to make the play for the final out of the fourth. But the Yankees take the lead on the home run by Drew. 2 hits, 1 man left on base. Go to the bottom of the fourth. It's 2-1 Yankees. Tickets bought in 2015. How long is their postseason drought? Let's take a look. how it compares with others. The Marlins 10 seasons, Mariners 12, the Blue Jays 20. Oh yeah, the Royals at 28 seasons. It's just amazing. Those are the current postseason droughts in Major League Baseball.
But they won the World Series 1985, correct?
Yep.
They beat the St. Louis Cardinals. So it was a battle for Missouri.
Here's Alex Gordon. 2-1 Yankees. Pitch outside. 1-0.
You know, speaking of Missouri, I read something yesterday I didn't know was true, that Kansas City is actually a bigger municipality than St. Louis. I would have thought it was the other way around, but that's not true.
You talk to some people here with the Royals, and you know, when this ballpark was built and it's since been refurbished, they did a great job. It was the thing to move ballparks out from the inner city. A lot of franchises in both football and baseball were doing that. But then you see with the Cardinals smack dab in the middle of downtown St. Louis, and it's a happening. And they think that might hurt the fact that when you come to a Royals game, it's a long ride. And a lot of their fans come from really far away, and even being in the city wouldn't help that much, but it's like a 2-hour drive for a lot of their fans, so it's a commitment.
And right across from here is Arrowhead Stadium, where the Kansas City Chiefs play. They actually share a parking lot.
Now, the original plan, this was built in 1973, was to have a sliding roof that covered both stadiums.
Oh.
And it's because of those long drives that people take. You don't want to get rained out, but it never came to pass. There's a ground ball to first. Headley steps on the bag. Gordon is retired. Now, Arrowhead is supposed to be one of the great home field advantages in the NFL. Loud like you cannot believe. But they are, as they say, cheek by jowl. Right next to each other.
I-70 runs the east to west just beyond the center field wall here.
When this place opened, the one knock against it was the artificial turf. And again, it comes down to they didn't want to have games rained out. But now grass fields are drained so beautifully, that's not a problem. So it's been grass since 1995. And the weirdest part about them having artificial turf back there, Kenny, was that they had one of the great groundskeepers of all time in George Toma.
Yeah, they did.
And he would pretty much tend to the grassy knolls in the outfield. He had nothing to do with the field.
Also, wasn't he hired by the NFL to do the Super Bowl year in and year out? Yeah. And I tell you, the Royals in those days, they were built for artificial surface. They had a very speedy team. Everybody in their team could go first to third. A lot of doubles hitters. You were trying to keep Willie Wilson from turning doubles into triples and triples into inside the park homers.
2-1 Yankees lead, bottom of the fourth inning. The 0-2. Fouled away. There's a doubles machine. George Brett. George, one of 3 numbers retired by the Royals. Number 5, that's George. Number 10, Dick Hauser. Number 20, Frank White. The 0-2. 1-2.
Yeah, some great teams back in the day with George leading the way on his way to the Hall of Fame.
Now works in the front office. He took a turn as a hitting coach last year. Not the full season. now back in the front office. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the fastball. Time now for the answer to the Toyota trivia question. The question is, which 3 players won the AL Rookie of the Year award with the Royals and also played at least one season with the Yankees? Well, Lou Pinella's one.
Johnny Damon?
Beltran?
Yeah.
I don't know if you could say at least one season with Beltran. He's in the middle of it.
Not
Angel
David.
Baroa.
He's the one who beat out Hideki Matsui, which I still don't agree with. Pineda's picking up the pace here. This point in the game, he's just wheeling and dealing.
Got a good slider working. Count 0-2.
Now you see it, now you don't. Boy, plenty of break on that one. Out of the strike zone, but Perez chased it. Try it again.
Line drive right at Wheeler to end the inning. So Perez hit it hard, but a 1-2-3 frame for Michael Pineda. Quick to the glove side. Wheeler as we go to the 5th. My 9 is brought to you in part by the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, now through September 2nd. See your Lexus dealer. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. And by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. We go to the 5th inning here in Kansas City. Yankees trying to make it 5 in a row. It's 2-1 on the scoreboard, brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Zealous Wheeler takes a strike from James Shields. Wheeler walked in the 3rd inning. There's a ground ball to short. Escobar. 1 man out.
I'm trying to think. Joaquin Andujar, when he was pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals, he said the 2 most important words in the English language are "you never know."
Here is Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury 1 for 2, single to center, and wrapped into a 3-6 fielder's choice. Missed outside. Foul ball the other way. Ellsbury had a good homestand, 9 for 22, and the Yankees are hoping that he breaks a trend. Really good homestand, awful road trip. Really good homestand, awful road trip. So this is the beginning of a 7-game trip. That's very important. You've got 3 games against the Tigers, who right now are in front of you in the wild card. And then you've got 3 games against Toronto, and Toronto's right behind you. Hitting .329 at the stadium, .232 on the road.
Almost 100 points better at the stadium.
Grounded to first. Nice play by Butler for the second out. Hey fans, tell us about your love for the Bombers. Post your thoughts to Facebook or Twitter using the hashtag #MyNineYankees, and your words could end up on the big screen in Times Square. Plus, you can also check out an updated photo gallery right now on our Facebook page to see some of your posts we put up in light. So, follow us on Twitter at My9NJ or like us on Facebook at My9TV, and you can see your post at the crossroads of the world. Here's Derek Jeter, wrapped into a double play, and stayed out of a double play with Ellsbury running in the third, and that helped him drive in a run. Ground ball to short, picked up his 33rd ribby. Derek at .264, 3 homers and 33 runs batted in. Before the game, last time in here in Kansas City, Dan Glass, the owner of the Royals, and Dayton Moore, the GM, presented Derek with a $10,000 check for his Turn 2 Foundation. Fouled away. Derek got a nice hand from the crowd.
I was thinking back to the last time the Yankees were in Tampa Bay on their most recent road trip. How Joe Madden was upset that the Rays fans were cheering for Derek Jeter.
I think it was Yankee fans that were there,
well,
too.
There were, of course there were Yankee fans there. There always are. But he thought the Rays fans were chipping in a little bit too much. His pitch has clips the outside corner, and a good job of receiving the pitch by Perez as he kind of pulls it back towards the plate for Lance Parrott to get a nice look at it. And that levels off the count.
Ground ball is short. The long throw. They get Jeter, and that'll do it. Yankees down 1-2-3. We're halfway through. It's 2-1 Bombers. 9. Join the group of post-apocalyptic survivors as they try to stay one step ahead of the walkers in a struggle to rebuild their lives. Whether you've seen it before or want to get in on the hype, now's your chance to relive it all from the very beginning. Back-to-back episodes of The Walking Dead. Wednesday nights premiering October 1st at 8 here on My 9. Now the last My 9 game, Kenny, I had to read that for the first time, and I could not say post-apocalyptic. So for the last 3 days, I have practiced it. Obviously. I must have said it about 1,000 times to myself. Post-apocalyptic. I don't know if it's going to serve me well in my life, but I nailed it right there.
Well, there you go. Practice makes perfect. Sounds like an interesting show.
BMW scoreboard shows this game's interesting. 2-1 Yankees lead. Raul Ibanez against Michael Pineda. Swing and a miss.
We talked about the Ibanez's impact on the Royals, particularly the veteran presence. But the Royals also picked up Josh Willingham in a deal with Minnesota Twins. And the first pitch that Willingham actually saw, he ripped a double. And they picked up Willingham during an 8-game winning streak. They'd already won 8 in a row. So when they found out they got Willingham, it kind of jazzed up the team even more. They, hey, we're really trying. So 2 veteran players joined this Royals team, which is laden with players who haven't had a sniff of the postseason.
I also like the fact with Ibanez, Kenny, he's always hit here at Kauffman Stadium. 292 lifetime average. With 31 homers, 152 ribbies.
And I think it tells you something about Ibanez. He's been with a couple of teams more than one time. He's been with Seattle a couple of times, and he's been with the Royals a couple of times. That tells you they don't mind having him back.
Great guy in the clubhouse. A real gentleman. Here's the 2-2. Nice play there by Drew on the outfield grass for the first out.
There's an example of the shift working in the favor of the Yankees. You can see the 3 fielders on the right side. This is ripped. And before all these shifts began, this would have been a lead-off single for Raul Ibanez. Instead, Stephen Drew from short right field throws him out.
Now, close game. It does bear telling you that David Robertson not available today. Pitched 3 games in a row. He blew the save yesterday. Eventually got bailed out by his team as they won in the bottom of the 10th. Now they're going to take it according to which batters come up in the order, but in all likelihood, the closer is going to be Dellin Betances today. There's also a chance Adam Warren might not be available. Joe said he would talk to him today once the game got closer, but Adam Warren is celebrating his 27th birthday today. He's pitched a lot of late.
You know, he might say, this is my birthday. If I get a chance, I'm coming in.
Blow out some candles, blow away the Royals. Friday night in Trenton, the Trenton Thunder, Yankees AA affiliate, actually going to hand out bobbleheads of David Phelps and Adam Warren.
They both came through Trenton on their way to the big leagues.
Strike 3, Kane down looking.
Here's a look at that last pitch, and Kane looked like a little cutter, slider, not able to pull the trigger, and Kane is out of there. Knee high on the inside corner. And that is strikeout number 4 for Michael Pineda. And he has not walked the batter. And to me, that's the most amazing thing about his return. And through, 16 innings now, he's walked just one batter since his return from the DL.
Mustakas takes low, 1-0. The only damage against Pineda was Mustakas' leadoff home run in the third. Traveled 401 feet on a 1-1 pitch. Yankees 2 runs on 4 hits. The Royals 1 run on 3 hits. There's a strike. Throwing hard, 95 miles an hour. Two and two.
Michael, we did his first game in Baltimore, and it was about this time where he started to tire a little bit, but I don't see that tonight.
Speaking of Baltimore, the Orioles 7, Tampa Bay 1. 5th inning. Fly ball down the right field line, foul. And Boston leads Toronto 3-0 also in the 5th inning. Yankees 6 games back of the Orioles, and they've always said we want to be fewer games back than we have left with them. And for a while it had gone to 9, but now it's down to 6. The Yankees have 8 games remaining with the Baltimore Orioles. The 2-2.
They also gained three games in 3 days.
Yeah, the Orioles got swept by the Cubs.
They stopped hitting.
Swing and a miss. Got him off speed. He has retired 9 in a row. Jogs off the mound with confidence as we go to the 6th inning. 2-1 Yankees. September 5th when the Yankees take on the Kansas City Royals. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees t-shirt courtesy of Sato. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees Clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. We go to the 6th inning. Yankees 2, Royals 1. James Shields and Michael Pineda hook up in a pitcher's duel here on a steamy Monday evening in the middle of the United States. Brian McCann will lead off. Grounded to second base, Infante. One down.
Yeah, talking to several local people here, they were saying they were having a beautiful summer, mostly 75, 80 degrees, and all of a sudden the last few days things jump up into the upper 90s. Well, of course, the Royals were used to it. They just came from Texas, where it was up near 100.
Heard it was pretty hot in New York today.
Ooh. Summer holding on.
It's been a very mild summer. Really can't complain. Here's Carlos Beltran, 1-0.
Michael, I got an idea about pitchers and their injuries. I think they should study pitchers like James Shields. Here's a guy who's never been on a disabled list. Find out what he does in preparation for the season. How much did he actually pitch when he was young? How much did he pitch when he was in Little League? All that sort of thing. Maybe that would give an indication of how to keep a pitcher healthy. I know every pitcher's different. Their deliveries are different. And Shields is certainly one of the most durable pitchers. As I said, he's never been on the DL in the major leagues. And every single year he gives you 200 innings.
Well, they're trying everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking at anything they could try to hook onto something that might work, but too many pitchers, too much money is on the disabled list. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Beltran, who's 0 for 2.
Yeah, what's his off-season routine? You know, does he throw much in the off-season? Not saying his routine would work for everybody, but it might help some pitchers.
Ground ball and through for a base hit. Found a hole in the shift. So Beltran with a single here in the 6th inning.
Now Beltran down at first base with Billy Butler. And that's a reaction from James Shields on the base hit.
Strike to Drew. Drew's home run in the 4th, the difference in this game. Yankees lead 2-1. Makes a big cut there, the count 0-2.
Yeah, good slider down and in.
Likes hitting against Shields, 7 for 13.
Beltran over at first, held on by Billy Butler. Only Beltran among active players hit more home runs in this ballpark than Billy Butler. And this is why the Yankees have the lead. Fastball up. Stephen Drew all over it. Got 6 rows back down the line, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
I think John Sterling's signature home run call for Stephen Drew is he delivers a Drewski to the fans.
Really?
Yes, that's what I heard. Baltimore 9, Tampa Bay 1 now in the 5th inning.
A Drewski?
The 2-2. John and Susan. Couple booths down from us. The 3-2 runner goes. The throw to second. It's a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Good throw by Perez as Drew strikes out, and Beltran is gunned down at second. We go to the bottom of the sixth, 2-1 Yanks. Visit RBIGame.com for more details. Download today on your console and mobile device. So we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. 2-1 Yankees lead. Escobar, Dyson, and Infante against Michael Pineda. Third start after coming off the 60-day DL. Through 5 innings, 70 pitches for Pineda, 53 strikes. First pitch strikes to 13 of 17 batters.
Escobar came to the Kansas City Royals in a deal with the Milwaukee Brewers, and it's a good trade. Kansas City also got Lorenzo Cain, Jake Odorizzi, Zach Greinke, who the Royals weren't going to be able to sign, went to Milwaukee, along with Yuniesky Betancourt, I really thought had a cool name, and Cash. So 2 of those players still playing and in the lineup tonight for the Royals.
Fly ball right field. Ichiro hardly had a move. 1 out.
4 years later, Alcides Escobar, one of the best shortstops in the league, and Lorenzo Cain, one of the better defenders, and having a decent year, hitting over 300 for these Royals. So they've got 2 regulars out of that trade. And Zach Greinke's now pitching for the Dodgers.
Here's Gerard Dyson. And as we move along here in the bottom of the 6th, the out-of-town scoreboard, you'll see it on the bottom of your screen. It's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Speaking of Jake Odorizzi, he started that game tonight for Tampa Bay, in which they're losing 9-1.
The 1-1.
Now this game actually started an hour earlier than usual here, 6:10 Central Time. So just now the lights are starting to take effect here at Kauffman Stadium, which means the Yankees will probably get into Detroit maybe 2:30 instead of 3:30 a.m.
That's going to be a base hit. So Dyson with his 2nd hit of the night. Chops one between 3rd and short.
This is his style. You can see by the way he holds his bat. It's not about the power. It's just about contact, hitting the ball on the ground. This time he finds a hole, chops it through past Zealous Wheeler, past Derek Jeter. And he's on with 1 out. Of course, he is a stolen base threat. He's in the top 5 in the league.
Well, that base hit broke a streak of 10 straight retired by Pineda. Here's Infante with 59 ribbies. That leads the team. Second baseman leads the team in ribbies.
Well, we told you that Shields has an excellent pickoff move, but Pineda, going back to the 1st inning, picked off Dyson.
Pitch out, nothing doing.
Those signs actually come from Tony Pena, Gold Glove catcher in his heyday. And it also serves as a message to the Royals, who are running club, that we will pitch out. If you're Ned Yost, I'm thinking you let Dyson go. He probably has a green light on his own here, but this might be a good hit and run pitch. 2-0. Pineda's been throwing strikes. He hasn't walked anybody, so he should get a strike here to swing at. Might depend on who's covering at second base. Timeout is called here as they try and open up a hole here in the infield.
Runner goes, pitch is high, throw to second. Not in time. Lance Barrett called the pitch a strike. And Jeter is talking things over with Ron Culpa. Thinks that he might have him. Joe Girardi is on the top step of the dugout. Let's see if he clipped the back foot before Dyson's hand got in. He might have. Hard to tell right there. But here comes Joe.
Get maybe a little closer look here.
Can't tell.
Can't tell on that one. This one might be the definitive angle here. You know what? I think it's worth a challenge myself.
Joe does not.
Whoa.
The key is it's got to be conclusive. There's really no conclusive angle that he hit the foot. Yeah, you can't tell.
Looked like he might have missed the foot.
Now, is that touching the foot or not? That's not conclusive, so.
Yep. I guess it's not worth a challenge. Stolen base number 29 for Dyson.
Ooh, good fastball.
95 miles an hour, and it just missed. Target's low and away, and let's see, maybe just a hair too low. Tell me about that angle. It usually passes the front knee as a strike. It's in that regard, it is a strike.
3-2 to Infante. Two-1 Yankees lead. We're in the bottom of the sixth. Some stirring in the Yankee bullpen, but nobody throwing at this point. Fly ball right field. Ichiro makes the catch. Dyson tags, but just bluffs as a throw cut off by Jeter. And a big out for Michael Pineda. 2 away. Five innings in his first start coming off the 16-day DL, then 6 innings last time. And he's trying to get the final out of the 6th inning here in start number 3.
You know they're going to be careful with him as his arm builds strength. 90 to 95 is the number tonight.
Here's Alex Gordon. Oh, 0-1. Tying runs at second, 2 men out, bottom of the 6th. Number 3 hitter in the lineup, Alex Gordon at the plate. The 0-1. 1-1.
We told you that the Royals offense is somewhat diversified throughout their lineup. Not really one standout, but I think the consensus is if you had to pick one player who was the MVP of this team, you'd probably go with Alex Gordon.
One. Good off speed pitch, 1-2.
Not only Pineda throwing strikes and is coming back, mixing up his pitch as well. Off-speed pitch, as Michael called it. Battle of the big right-handers, Big Mike and Big Game James.
One-two. Chop back to Pineda. And he works out of a jam. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 man left. We played 6 full in KC. Yankees lead this one 2-1.
As they take on the Tigers, as all starts at 7 p.m. from Detroit as the Bombers look to gain ground in a wild card hunt. Yankees Tigers tomorrow night at 7 on My 9. The Dodge Summer Clearance event going on now as we look at the scoreboard. Yankees leading 2-1, top of the 7th inning. Shields through 6 innings has thrown 87 pitches, 55 for strikes. 4th inning, he threw 18 pitches. That's the hardest he's had to work in this game in 1 inning. And he will face Martin Prado leading off for the Yankees here in the 7th inning. He'll be followed by Chase Headley and Ichiro Suzuki.
And Shields deals the first pitch inside 1-0. Prado 1 for 2. Grounded to third and double to left. And a strike from Shields.
I was reading about Prado today. He grew up in Venezuela. An Atlanta Braves fan. Particularly when the Braves had Andres Galarraga, the big cat.
Driven deep to left field. Going back Gordon. Still back. Looking up. See ya! A home run for Martin Prado. And the Yankees now lead 3-1.
If there's one thing that Shields would like to change about his game, he gives up quite a few homers. He's given up 21 now this year. Mentioned Prado's favorite player was Andres Galarraga, the big cat. The big cat wore number 14 back in the day.
Well, he swung so hard, Ken, he almost fell down. The 1-0. Line drive, a base hit to right center field. Kane cuts the ball off. Headley makes a big turn. He'll stop at first with a single.
Here's what Michael's talking about. How hard does he swing? Hard enough to get it over the 387 side in left center field and give the Yankees a 3-1 lead.
.397 feet on a 1-1 pitch. A ground ball by Jeter, 1 run, a home run by Drew, another, and a home run by Prado, the third. Yankees lead 3-1. Now, one of the keys in beating the Royals, you don't want to go into the final 3 innings of a game trailing.
No.
Because the back end of their bullpen is lights out. When leading after 6 innings, the Royals are 53-3. Trailing after 6 innings, they're 10-44. And then it gets worse after that, Kenny. Leading after 7 innings, they're 60-1. And when they lead after 8, they're 64-1. And their closer, Greg Holland, has something to do with that.
Yeah, he does. He's now has back-to-back 40 save seasons. His setup men, Kelvin Herrera and Wade Davis. Davis hasn't given up a run in a month of Sundays.
Chopped to short. Escobar has a play at first, but the throw is high. Pulls Butler off, and Ichiro reaches. Headley moves to second.
Tell you what, if Ichiro gets a base hit on this, and I think he will now tie Hank Aaron on the all-time singles list. Yep, he was safe. So he has 2 infield hits tonight.
Did they give him a hit on that?
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
So he's now tied with the hammer. Usually you think of Hank Aaron as a power hitter. I think he's tied for 12th on the all-time singles list. Wheeler did show bunt. Royals are expecting it. Butler's in on the grass. Same for Mustakas at third. See if Wheeler can get the job done here. They had the wheel play on. Mustakas charging. The feeling was that Escobar, the shortstop, could beat Headley to third. Watch him take off for this, and Mustakas will charge. And that gives the Royals a chance to pick up a force play at third base. But if you're a hitter and you see that, and you see the vacated area at shortstop, sometimes they let you swing away.
Bunted. Back to Shields. Fires to third. Good play. He gets the force. Quick off the mound and decisive with the throw.
Yeah, we told you Shields is a good fielder. Fields his position well. He was quick off the mound, as Michael said. And the catcher, Perez, was yelling 3-3, 3-3-3. He didn't hesitate, spun, fired accurately to third. And the sacrifice is not successful, as Wheeler's going to reach on the fielder's choice. Ichiro moves down to second.
Here's Jacoby Ellsbury, 1 for 3 tonight. Singled on the first pitch of the game, a single to center. Reached on a fielder's choice in the third. Ground ball to first, and then grounded to first again in the fifth. Base hit to right field. Ichiro rounds third. He's coming home. The throw is not in time. Moving to third is Wheeler. It's an RBI single for Ellsbury, and the Yankees lead 4-1.
Well, you know, he's feeling pretty good about this base hit, the RBI. It's Ellis Wheeler, who's now at third base. And failing to move the runners around, that might have stalled an inning. But instead, Jacoby Ellsbury picks him up with a base hit His second hit of the night drives in a run. Wheeler's now at third. And Dave Island, former Yankee pitching coach now here with the Royals, is out there talking to James Shields as the bullpen is busy for the Kansas City Royals.
So Shields came into this inning having pitched well, but he's given up 4 hits this inning, and it started with the home run to Martin Prado. Francisli Bueno, one of 2 left-handers in the Royals bullpen, warming up. The other one, Bruce Chen. So James Shields, 9-15 in 29 previous starts against the Yankees, is trailing 4-1 here in the 7th. Derek wrapped into a double play, grounded out to short to drive in a run, grounded out to short again. So 3 ground balls to Escobar. 0-1. Off of Shields, kicks out to Escobar, goes into left field, a base hit. Wheeler scores. Moving to third is Ellsbury. It's an RBI single for Jeter, and the Yankees lead 5-1.
Jeter picks up his second run batted into the night, and this is almost a kick save and a beauty, but instead, off the heel, has some English on it as Escobar was going to reach for it with his bare hand, and the ball scoots away from him. Ellsbury heads up on his way to third. And the Yankees still have an inning brewing here. First and third, still only 1 out.
Trying to pick off at third. A timing play. Mustakas was headed over to third as the pitch was being delivered, but not in time. Fly ball right field coming on as Kane. He makes the catch, tagging is Ellsbury. Here's the throw. Here's the play. He's out. And Joe Girardi is out of the Yankee dugout. So the Royals will have to wait and see if the Yankees challenge.
Here's a look at the throw on the first base side. And the sweep tag by Perez. Does he get him?
I think he's in.
I think he's in there too. I think the right foot got in. The lead foot is going to touch home plate before the tag. It's the left foot. I'm sorry. But it looks like it got in there. That is Lance Barrett with the call.
So everybody's standing and looking into the Yankee dugout to see whether the Yankees are going to challenge or not. And Joe said, you know what? I'm going to challenge. So he is going to challenge. They'll bring out the headset to connect the crew chief and Lance Barrett back to New York where the 8 umpires sit. We'll see what they decide. If you ask me yes or no, Kenny, I'd say it was safe.
I would
I'm not
too.
sure it's conclusive, though.
Yeah, it's conclusive now. I just saw it on the scoreboard. And I would say he's safe, and that's a big run because that means a grand slam would not tie the game.
Well, they're showing the replay several times on the board.
Here's the one that I think
Chase Headley thinks he's safe.
Yeah.
the guys back at Baseball Advanced Media, they are the final judges.
I'll tell you what, Kane out in right field made a heck of a throw, just a little to the first base side of home plate, and I think that was the difference. The ball's a little more straight away to the middle. See Perez reaching. Now watch the foot. And it looks like the left foot makes contact before the tag on the right foot. But Michael's right. It has to be conclusive. Tell you what, the Yankees had the right guy at third base. Either Ellsbury or Gardner had the best chance of scoring on that. Here we go.
He is safe.
Yep.
So a sac fly for McCann, a run scored for Ellsbury. And the Yankees now lead 6-1.
So instead of an inning-ending double play, the Yankees have another run. And the speed of Ellsbury pays off. Now a 4-run inning. And you go back to the other play that Joe Girardi decided not to challenge, he would have lost his challenge.
Yep. So a big 4-run inning for the Yankees. Jeter's still on first with 2 outs. Here's Beltran. They say that he went around. The 0-2. 1-2. And Shields deals.
Take a look at the replay. Oof. They got Lance Barrett, the home plate umpire. And he seems to be okay.
So hanging with Shields here in the 7th, despite 4 runs being in. Yankees have 10 hits. They won a game that Chris Sale pitched yesterday. They're leading in a game that James Shields was pitching today. Tomorrow they run into more good pitchers in Detroit: Porcello, Price, and Verlander. So tonight at 108 over his average. Is high though, 124. Outside, so Beltran works a walk. And that is going to do it as Ned Yost out of the dugout. And we'll take the ball from big game James, but not tonight, as the Yankees lead 6-1 with runners on first and second and 2 outs. largest 4G LTE network. And it is going to be Francisli Bueno.
This will be Bueno's 24th appearance of the year. He's looking for his first decision. 18 strikeouts and 26 2/3. The left-hander out of the bullpen is going to face Stephen Drew. So Bueno having a decent year. So the Yankees have chased Big Game James. Will add 10 hits and 6 runs in 6 2/3 innings. So for Pineda, his previous 10 starts, the Yankees had not scored more than 4 runs in any one of those games.
So this is an embarrassment of riches.
For him, it is. And they had a total of 12 in those 10 games.
Shields just threw 22 pitches in this inning as he sits and watches as they try to get the final out. The 1-0. 2-0 to Drew. Two and two. Check that 2-1. You know, the hit by Ellsbury this inning, Kenny, his second of the game, and also a milestone hit for him. It's his 1,000th career hit. Three and one.
Those are nice round numbers.
Swing and a miss. 3 and 2. So the runners will go 3-2 and 2 outs. And the 3-2. High fly ball. Center field. Dyson over in left center, and he makes the play. The Yankees send 9 runners to the plate. They score 4 runs. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees up 6-1. You. It's What's Your Take, brought to you by the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. How do you pass the time during a rain delay at Yankee Stadium? Is it A, go to a concession stand, B, walk around on the concourse, C, play with your smartphone, or D, watch shows on the video board? Text ABC or D to 70377 or go to my9nj.com. Find out the results later in the game wrap-up. It's What's Your Take, brought to you by the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. Michael Pineda has a 6-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. This is his third start coming off the 60-day DL. And the scoreboard brought to you by your Dodge Summer Clearance Event. And there's the strike. David Huff sounding loud as he warms up. 0-2.
Now, Michael, you remember when the bullpens used to face the other way?
Yep.
Yeah, they were. Those are really bullpens that the acoustics were just tremendous in there. They made the pitchers feel like they were throwing 100 miles an hour. It was like a tunnel. You can imagine it going the other way. It was since they built stands behind the bullpens here and just closed them off. Just now they go in a different direction altogether. But pitchers used to warm up before the game. They thought they were throwing 100, 150 miles an hour. Then they'd throw that first pitch and it'd get turned around. And it's the bullpen's fault.
The 1-2. Fly ball, right field. Ichiro makes the play. What's impressive, he's throwing hard. He's got 93 pitches. I believe that last pitch, I looked up, the last one was 96. The one before that was 94. So they're stretching him out. The lead gives him a little bit more room to play and make him a full-fledged 7-inning starter.
Yeah. One more thing, if I could say about the bullpens back in the day when they faced the other way. There used to be the ground crew used to keep their equipment in the tunnel out in right field. And on the hot days like today or the hot evenings like tonight, Dan Quisenberry used to turn on the hose on the fans and they would just stand there and take it. And you know how hot it can get here in Kansas City.
Out back under our booth right now, it's pretty hot.
Yeah,
I'm sure they would appreciate it today.
Yeah, the late Dan Quisenberry, certainly back in the day, was one of the best relief pitchers in the American League, in all of baseball for that matter. Prior to Holland getting back-to-back 40 save seasons, the last one to do it was Quisenberry for these Royals back in '83 and '84.
Driven out to center field and deep. Going back, Ellsbury, it's going to be over his head and up against the wall. Perez picks up a double with one out.
Perez, his 22nd double of the year. And as you can see, that pitch is up and in the middle of the plate. And sometimes that's a sign that a pitcher might be getting a little tired. Getting harder for him to force the ball down into the strike zone. Ellsbury gave it the valiant effort in center field. You can see Pineda hoping. Nope. Heads up against the wall, and Pineda's out of the ball game.
So it gives the Yankees 6 1/3 strong innings. And he leaves the ball game trailing 6-1. The bullpen has to get 8 outs. Dyson got 2 hits. Billy Butler got a hit. Perez got the double that knocked Pineda out of the game. And Mike Mustakas, the only real damage against Pineda, a home run that came in the 3rd inning. So that's the in-game box score. Pineda threw 96 pitches, 70 of them strikes. That's his line at this point. The 1 run and the runner at second is his responsibility. And Kenny again, no walks.
No walks, and wow, that's been impressive. You would figure that a pitcher coming off the disabled list and had been out for such a lengthy period of time would have trouble finding his arm slot. And I give a lot of credit to the people in the minor leagues that got him ready. Not only the training staff to help get him healthy again, but the coaches has got his act together as far as rejoining the Yankees and throwing strikes.
David Huff comes on. Ibanez was due up, and they send up the pinch hitter Josh Willingham to pinch hit for Ibanez, who was 0 for 2. Willingham's numbers with the Twins and the Royals, 225, 14, and 40. Count 1-0.
Willingham came from the Minnesota Twins on August 11th in exchange for minor league pitcher Jason Adam.
Huff got the win yesterday. In relief, he pitched a scoreless 10th. So the pitcher of record when McCann hit the home run. Crowd of 31,758 here on a Monday night in Kansas City. Perez at second. The pinch hitter Willingham with a 1-0 count at the plate. Huff on the mound. 1-1. Sean Kelly is up.
Well, this is a pretty good crowd for a makeup game, and the Royals average just over 23,000 a game. So I think maybe with the last opportunity to see Derek Jeter, it helped boost the crowd.
And also a first place team came back.
And that's true too.
Willingham on the road trip where they moved into first, they were 6-3. He was 9 for 24. That's 409. He had 2 home runs and 6 ribbies during the trip. Two and 2 on Willingham.
Well, I would think that Larry Rothschild and Joe Girardi and the whole club got a big boost tonight. The efforts of Michael Pineda. Just building from his first time out to his second and now to his 3rd outing. As Michael said, he looks like a legitimate 7-inning pitcher now at least.
High fly ball. Right center. Moving over is Ellsbury. He'll make the catch for the 2nd out. So Willingham is retired. That's going to bring up Lorenzo Cain. Perez still at second. Yankees lead 6-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Here at the place they call the K. Grounded up the middle. Grabbed there by Drew, and that saves a run. So Cain gets a hit. If that trickles into center field, Perez probably scores. But now it's 1st and 3rd, 2 outs.
Here's the play by Drew. He knocks it down. Well, he actually came up with it, then bobbled it. But still, the runner to 3rd. Perez is going to hold, and it gives Huff a chance to work on a left-handed hitter and get out of the inning here.
And that lefty hitter is Mike Mustakas. Huff deals. There's a strike. Eighth inning in Baltimore, 9-1 Orioles over Tampa Bay. Ninth inning in Toronto, Boston 3, Toronto nothing. High fly ball, deep center, but Ellsbury has room and makes the play for the final out of the inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left on base. Michael Pineda likes what he sees. He had a strong outing. Yankees leading as they go to the 8th. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. Yankees have 10 hits. Jacoby Ellsbury 2. The second hit is 1,000th career hit. Jeter with 2 ribbies. Home run by Stephen Drew. A home run by Martin Prado. And Ichiro Suzuki loves hitting here. 2 more hits, 2 runs scored. And there's a strike to Martin Prado. He led off the 7th inning with a home run. Started that 4-run rally. Turned a 2-1 game into a 6-1 game. Prado 2 for 3 tonight. Grounded to second. Infante. 1 out. That's going to bring up Chase Headley. Chase had a hit in the Yankees 4-run 7th. He's 1 for 3. Oh, and 1.
Well, 5 different Yankees have driven in a run tonight. Only 2 Yankees do not have a hit. They have 10 hits total. So the offense has been spread around somewhat.
One and 2. Grounded to third. Mustakas for the second out.
Every time Mustakas touches the ball, the Moose calls come out here at Royal Stadium. I should say Kauffman Stadium. The Royals fans let out the Moose.
It's great having names like that. Lou Piniella.
Lou, yeah.
Guy doing the game for ESPN, Aaron Boone, who told me last week, he said, I never got booed.
Not that he knew of?
Not that he said, it always sounded like Boone to me. Strike to Ichiro.
I don't think players mind being booed on the road. There's Aaron Boone and Dave O'Brien doing the game on ESPN tonight.
Popped up. Escobar will put it away as the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. Let's take this baby to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees 6, Royals 1. Game wrap-up. We'll have a breakdown of tonight's action, plus news and more from the clubhouse. The Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on My 9, followed by Chasing New Jersey. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Going to be 9, 1, and 2 in the Royals order against David Huff, who came on in relief of Michael Pineda. I always tell you about Katie Sharp, who's a great follow for Yankee Stats on Twitter. She just tweeted out that Michael Pineda is the third American League pitcher in the last 100 years to allow 2 runs and 5 hits or fewer in each of his first 7 starts of the season. Jared Weaver and Cisco Carlos are the others.
Cisco Carlos?
Never heard of Cisco Carlos. I've heard of Jared Weaver.
Yeah, most definitely. Weaver got the win last night to put the Angels in first place against the A's.
Grounded back to Huff. Escobar down for the first out.
Tell you what, the Angels went in there and pounded them last night.
As we move along here in the bottom of the 8th inning, out of town scoreboard brought to you by Nissan. Get to Nissan's bottom line event today for bonus cash on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Toronto has tied up Boston as Coach Uehara comes in and again struggles. He's had some really bad outings of late.
Ooh, nothing fancy there.
Dyson down on strikes.
3 pitches and see you later. See if he can catch up to this. He couldn't. I think Huff's throwing harder than he did last year, or his last time that we saw him with the Yankees. And pitchers will tell you sometimes better mechanics. Sean Kelly waiting in the bullpen. Huff has gotten the first 2 outs quite quickly here in the 8th.
That one is lined to left field. Right there is Prado and Infante for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So David Huff eating up outs as we go to the 9th. (6-1) Yankees lead, top of the 9th inning. It is the city of fountains. We got a lot of them here at the stadium, all around the city, and there's another treasured icon of the city, George Brett.
3 batting titles, Hall of Fame third baseman, 76, 80, and 90.
Zach Wheeler leads off against Francisli Bueno. 0-1.
In 1980 season when he hit .390, he was just a line drive waiting to happen.
Got a bar and grill out of it. There's a base hit for Zealous Wheeler.
You think he has to pay when he walks in there?
I hope not.
No, I don't think so. Wheeler with his first hit of the game. So now there must be only one guy who's not been in the party tonight. Didn't get an invitation. It's Brian McCann. He does have a sacrifice fly, though. The only Yankee without a hit.
Hammered down the right field line. Does it have the height? Oh, yeah. See ya. A home run for Jacoby Ellsbury, and the Yankees lead 8-1. Ellsbury has struggled all year on the road, but tonight he has 3 hits in 5 at-bats.
Also given 3 runs batted in on the night, as this one's going to find the seats almost to the exact same place where Stephen Drew hit his home run. That was a rocket.
And now the crowd of over 30,000 gives Derek Jeter a standing ovation, which could be his last appearance here in this ballpark.
Thanks to Derek Jeter for loving Kansas City barbecue. He's not the only one.
Derek had an RBI single his last time up, 1 for 4 with 2 ribbies. Always a chance he could be back here if both teams make the playoffs. That would be just like the old days, Yankees and the Royals. Chop to third, Mustakas gets Jeter. First out of the ninth.
Couple of waves to the crowd as he heads to the dugout.
And with that Jeter at bat, a lot of the fans heading for the exits. Line drive, up base hit for Brian McCann.
Well, sometimes the last guy to the party has the most fun. So every Yankee has a hit tonight with McCann single to right field. And he's now on the dance floor.
And he goes on the dance floor and they throw Bueno out of the party.
No good, huh?
No bueno. TV, internet, and phone from Time Warner Cable, 1-855-WANT-TWC. By Chevrolet, visit your local Chevy dealer at ChevyDealer.com. And by Nissan, get to Nissan's bottom line event today for bonus cash on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. New pitcher for the Royals is Bruce Chen. Runner on first base, just 1 out. Yankees lead this one 8-1. It'll be Chen against Beltran.
There are the numbers on Bruce Chan. He's working out of the bullpen now. He hasn't pitched since August the 13th against Oakland. And in that game, he allowed 5 runs in 4 innings of work and gave up 2 home runs to Josh Donaldson. But if you go back to July 22nd, it was Chan who got the win against the White Sox that day, and that started the 24-7 run for the Royals. And by winning that day, it was his 82nd Major League win, and it tied Mariano Rivera for the most wins for a Panamanian-born pitcher.
Line to center, Dyson there. You mentioned the first day of when things turned around. We told you about that meeting that they had. Well, they're going to have the meeting the day before. And Raul Ibanez said, you know what, let's hold off. And they said, why? Well, Chris Sale's pitching tonight. You never want to have a meeting when the best pitcher is going right after the meeting because you'll end up losing the game or might lose it. So you want your chances to be a bit better.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's why I think he has a chance to be a future manager. And another thing, managers will not have a meeting until usually their best pitcher's going.
Yep.
They'll have a meeting that night when they feel like it's guaranteed win night. Get everybody going in the right direction.
Drew swings and misses. So the Yankees starting this road trip in proper fashion. They've got a big 3-game set starting with the Tigers tomorrow. That game will be on My 9. And then 3 games against the Blue Jays at Rogers Center in Toronto. Swing and a miss. Drew down on strikes. But the Yankees scored 2 more runs on 3 hits. A big 2-run home run by Jacoby Ellsbury. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Action plus news and more from the locker room. The Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on My 9, followed by Chasing New Jersey. Our little Yankee fan is happy. Team is up 8-1 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and David Huff will try to get the final 3 outs, and it's important Kenny, the bullpen is tired, and there are no days off this week. Next day off is a week from today. So Pineda gives him 6 1/3, and if Huff could give him 2 2/3, that's a huge bonus.
Yeah, going into the series where you're going to face some tough pitchers in Detroit. Maybe your run scoring ability won't be like it has been tonight. Kind of unexpected against James Shields. Knocking him around. He was in there for 6 2/3, 110 pitches, 68 strikes. Well, the Yankees tonight where they're going to score 8 runs, at least 8. To get these 3 outs, they'll have 8 runs and it'll be it.
There's a base hit off the bat of Alex Gordon.
Michael, sometimes when we take shots of the fans in the stands, you see a lot of little kids coming to ball games. I like to see that. They come with their parents or grandparents to games. And you never know which one of these kids might be the next Derek Jeter. You don't know.
There's Billy Butler. And a strike.
Here in Kansas City, they might say, who's the next George Brett?
Or the next David Cone.
Yeah, exactly.
Fly ball. Shallow right center. Coming on is Ellsbury. He makes the play. 1 away.
As of now, nobody warming up in the Yankee bullpen. You have to say it's an all-around good night for the Yankees. The pitching was outstanding. Pineda building and building. Huff has been solid in relief here. The offense outstanding. 8 runs, 13 hits. Every starter had at least 1 hit. 3 home runs in the game. Good way to start a trip.
The 0-1 to Perez.
It's going to be 1 and done. You might as well have some fun, right?
Joe Girardi said it best before the game today. He said, every day for us is a playoff game. He said, these are our playoffs. In order for us to get into the playoffs, we have to win these games. So they have the same importance as a playoff game would have. And he's right. These are the playoffs right now. Every game means so much. The 3 games against the Tigers, you can either pass the Tigers or really drop even further behind them. And then you don't want the Blue Jays to jump ahead of you. That one is looped and caught by Ryan.
Broken bat by Perez and didn't get much force behind it. Ryan makes the play for out number 2. David Huff's going to get in on the hands of Salvador Perez. And you can see he just carry that bat and just throw it away. Or give it away for a souvenir.
Here's Josh Willingham. Runner goes. He'll take second on defensive indifference. It's a strike. Willingham pinch hit in the 7th. Had a fly ball to center. The 0-1. And a strike. And the Royals down to their final strike. So a lot of tough pitchers lined up in a row. Yankees end up winning a game with Chris Sale starting. Now they're on the verge of winning a game started by James Shields. Next up, Rick Porcello. Then David Price and Justin Verlander. There's a ground ball to Ryan. And the Yankees win the game 8-1. Home runs, pitching, that usually does the job. A big night for Jacoby Ellsbury. And Kenny, bottom line, Michael Pineda, third straight good start following a stint on the 60-day DL.
Yeah, he got to the point where you could see that he's progressed every single start, and this one was outstanding as he went 6 in the third innings and allowed just 1 run, 5 strikeouts, 5 hits, and no walks. Yankee captain Derek Jeter, maybe his last time playing in Kansas City. Nice round of applause for him with his first at bat and his last at bat.
We've got so much more to come here on My Nine. We've got some awards.